Hello, my name is Shannon O'Toolis Vargas, and this is from my class. Unfortunately, my computer is not working right now, and I'm trying to get this project done, so I'm just going to go into it. My focus of this project is motor carrier safety regulations, which is a government and operation for commercial trucks and buses through the United States. Department of Transportation, DOT is what you'll hear, something like that. Sorry, I'm reading off my cue cards. I did a spreadsheet, PowerPoint for it, but again, computer not working, so I'm going to read from there. Transportation Operation Certificate Presentation, I choose motor carrier safety because safety is important. You know, a lot of people go to CDL classes to learn how to drive the big trucks and even sometimes tankers or hazmat or different types of trucks that are out on the road. And it's not only the person driving it, but it's also the people around. I mean, families, grandmas, nuns, other workers. So you want to make sure everybody is safe on the road. And this agency, what they do is pretty much regulate that and make sure that people are doing the right thing and getting the right certifications and know what they're doing, and just making sure everyone is safe all around. Okay, motor carriers are responsible for carrying goods. So pretty much a CDL driver, once they pass the test and they're certified and they get their license through whichever state that they choose, are responsible for transporting goods all over the highway, from way up in Maine down to Florida to across to Oregon and California. You know, and honestly, drivers can do maybe 500 to 600 miles a day in a truck, safely, accurately, and with ELDs and different regulations. Because you don't want somebody driving across the country fatigued or worn out. You want to make sure they eat properly, go to the bathroom properly, and take the rest that they need. These are all important. So, okay, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA, is also something you'll hear. It's, you know, like I just said, maintenance of the vehicle and making sure that their tires are not bald, that their brakes are good, their brake lines are not tattered or disconnected. You want to make sure all lights and mud flaps and pin locks and everything is together, so that way nothing falls off the truck. You know, also want to make sure there's no leaking of materials in these trucks, you know, tankers or reefer units or anything like that. You want to make sure it's in good, proper running compliance. You know, in my job, I am a freight broker, but I've also worked with trucking companies. I've worked with different types of brokerages, and I've done the rail. I've worked in the rail, you know, inspecting the cars, making sure all the wheels are there, making sure the glad hands and the dolly legs are all set up properly. And, you know, I've never driven a truck. I've never loaded a truck, but I've been around it and been in it and checked it out. I've been in the industry about 20 years in different capacities. So I have seen quite a few different situations. So, and they're always, you know, a new day. So every day is a new day. You never know what you'll get. And you want to make sure that you don't get any violations. There are quite a few violations that are out there, such as the hours of service. You know, these guys used to run 24 hours on that 5-hour Energy or Red Bull and just blast through the miles. And you can't do that anymore, especially with construction sites and lower speed limits. You know, you want to just make sure everything's good, especially with like bridge crossings, you know, hours of fatigue. You know, you might not read the signs and see the bridge and your truck's too high, or, you know, or construction, you might not see it, right? You know, you go cross-eyed driving. So those are things that can happen. And you just want to make sure, you know, your maintenance logs are together and, you know, okay, I got fuel at this gas station at this time I made sure my oil change was here. I was, dedicated routines just to make sure it goes through. So, drivers, they do need their CDLs, and, they have to meet health regulations. They're not, they can't have like seizure problems. They can't have vision problems, maybe blood clots, just like flying on an airplane. You have to sit for a while. So these are all things that they have to do. And like I said, with hazardous materials, it's extra training. It's an extra step that these drivers have to go through to get. These rules are here to ensure that everyone's safety and some type of regulation, which is good for everybody. Kind of like the bottom line, this is where we got to stick to, this is where it is, just to make sure everybody is safe on the road, because that's the priority out there. And all these rules, they might say, oh, they're harsh, oh, I could do it this way, but you might be able to, but the guy next to you might not be able to. And you want to go home to your family, you want to make sure you're okay, and the other family, your neighbors, your friends, they're safe. Trucking has come a long way. They used to just throw it in the back and go. Now there are novel locks and GPS and different types of seals just to make sure, there's no theft, because that used to be a big thing too. It's good just to follow and watch where it can go. So I'm just going to conclude this saying that the regulations are important for day-to-day operations, and by following these rules, motor carriers reduce accidents, improve efficiency, and maintain positive public image, which, yeah, that's what you want. No trucking company wants that, tarnish on their reputation. Nobody wants that remark to know as, causing accidents or bad reports. I know when I pull up a carrier, I pull up on Carrier 411, and we get different reports from the, I'm sorry, I'm exhausted, FMCSA. It shows, oh, bad accidents, oh, bad reporting, oh, bad carriers, stuff like that. We do watch and we do look at, and they get graded on. So some references is the Federal Motor Carrier Administration, Department of Transportation. I will send my slide sheet in too, just because, like I said, my computer wasn't working, so I could probably email this to you and you got it. Thank you.